Have you ever noticed how we spend years chasing financial numbers, but almost never stop to ask why? What are those numbers actually meant to do for your life? Because a weird thing happens a lot. People hit targets they thought would make everything feel calmer, and then it doesn't. And that's what I want to talk about today. Not how to earn more, not how to invest better, but what enough actually means. Story time! I once worked with a couple who were doing everything right on paper. Good income, savings in one place, investments ticking along nicely. Nothing was wrong. So I asked them a really simple question. What do you want your money to do for your life? They both stopped. One of them eventually said, I'm not really sure. We just thought we'd feel more relaxed by now. They weren't short on money. They were just short on clarity. The problem with how we're taught about money is that most financial advice is built around more, accumulating more, earning more, saving more, growing more. And all of that is bad, but if you never define what enough looks like, your brain never switches off. The goalposts keep moving, and you hit one milestone and immediately start chasing the next one. Enough isn't about a number. And a lot of people think enough is about a number. If I get to this amount, I'll finally feel relaxed. In reality, it works more like a boundary. It quietly shapes how much pressure you put. It quietly shapes how much pressure you put yourself under, how much risk you're comfortable taking, and how much time you want to trade for your money. Without that boundary, it's really hard to ever feel finished, even temporarily. Lifestyle inflation sneaks up on you. And as income grows, life usually grows with it. Nicer flats, better holidays, higher standards without even noticing it. None of this is wrong. It only becomes a problem when your idea of enough rises at the same time without you choosing it. A good question to pause on is, if the only thing that changed in my life was my bank balance, what would I actually hope felt different? The answer to that is often more useful than the number itself. More money doesn't always change how life feels. There's also something interesting we see again and again. Once your basic needs are covered and life feels stable, more money still gives you options, but it doesn't reliably change how your day-to-day life feels. That's why people upgrade their lifestyle and still feel strangely the same inside. Enough is personal, but it's not random. Two people could earn the same amount and have totally different versions of enough. It depends on how much freedom you want, how much security helps you sleep at night, how much uncertainty you can tolerate. When that couple that I mentioned earlier worked through this, they realized something important. They weren't bad with money. They just hadn't decided what they were aiming for. Financial planning isn't about squeezing every last drop of your finances. It's about letting money stop taking up more mental space than it needs to. Defining enough doesn't mean you stop earning or stop growing. It usually means you're doing it on purpose. If you want to reflect on this yourself, 3 questions that really help are: what would my life look like if money wasn't the main constraint? Which parts of my spending genuinely improve my life? At what point does more stop changing how I actually live? You don't need the perfect answers, just be honest with yourself, because the problem usually isn't wanting more, it's being clear what more is meant to fix. So I'll leave you with this. Right now, what does enough mean for you? If you take anything from this, let it be, you don't have to want less, you just have to know what you're aiming for. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I'll see you in the next one.